All right, what is up, y'all? I'm coming at you from Farmington, Utah, and it is beautiful up here, and it is freaking cold. But I wanted to share something with you today, and this is inspired by a podcast that I recently listened to from Dark Horse, where Brett Weinstein was interviewing some military whistleblowers. And I'm thinking of you because I feel like this is leverage to get us to do what it is that we need to do and focus on the most important things. Now, if you're anything like me, which I know you are, as you're trying to figure out what is most important to focus on, it can seem overwhelming because there's a lot of chaos in the world. There's a lot of unpredictability. And you're probably concerned about a lot of things that we're all concerned about. Your health, your finances, your savings, where to put your savings, your job security, food prices, food scarcity, fuel prices, fuel scarcity, inflation, and the list goes on, right? So then the question is, what is most important to focus on? So as I listened to this podcast where Brett interviews these military whistleblowers, it made me realize that even our military institutions and the military itself has been compromised. So here's the deal. Every institution that is important to our civilization and the perpetuation of our species has been compromised. Science is no longer science because science has been compromised by big pharma and money and corporate interests. Universities and institutions that we depend on to educate our young people have been compromised by money and corporate interests. The food system that we depend on to feed us has been compromised. The medical system that we depend on to take care of us when we're injured or sick has been compromised. And now, as you'll listen in this podcast, it seems that even our military has been compromised. By what? I don't know. I have some thoughts. I'd love to hear your thoughts. So what listening to this podcast actually did for me was number one, it gave me tremendous compassion for our service members. And I'm talking about people that serve in our military and that serve in frontline positions in the medical community, like doctors and nurses. And these people have been forced to decide between a career, maybe something they're passionate about, something that gives them money so they can take care of their family, versus doing what they feel is right for their body and their health over the long term. I can't imagine being in that situation, and especially not having the flexibility to leave your job if you feel something you're being forced to do goes against your rights as a human being. Now, listening to this podcast also reinforced my resilience to want to be as healthy as I can so that I can be the best version of myself for you, and also for all the different things that I care about in my life, and also for all the unpredictable chaos that may come our way because of how our institutions have been compromised. If the institutions that we depend on for accurate information, that we depend on to feed us, that we depend on to take care of us, that we depend on for our national defense have been compromised, where does that leave us? Who the heck knows? With a lot of uncertainty. But what I do know is what's most important is taking care of your personal health and the health of your family and those people around you. Because when you focus on your health and the health of your family and the people around you and your community, you will be healthy, you'll be clear, you'll be energetic, you'll be emotionally stable, and you'll be resilient in a way that will allow you to deal with whatever comes our way in the future. And that's why the work that we're doing here together is so freaking important. So what I'd like you to do is two things. Number one, I'd love for you to listen to this podcast, and I'd love your feedback. Come back and share your feedback. And then number two, make your nutrition and your health and the nutrition and health of your family and your community your number one priority as you're going through life and deciphering your other priorities. As always, questions, comments, feedback, and even snide remarks you can send in my way, and keep it real.